Hello, everyone. Today we are here with Paradox.
Hi everyone.
Is there anything you would like to say before we get started?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on your interview series, and also the person or people who brought attention to my channel, to your attention, my channel. But
Hmm.
yeah, other than that, I'm ready to begin.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, you are a artist,
Yes.
and my first question to you is, when did you become interested in art?
Well, to be honest, since I can remember myself, I always was interested in creative things. Arts and crafts was my thing. So I don't have a specific time where I got interested in art in general, but specifically drawing and painting, I really got serious with practicing and all of that about a year and a half ago. But yeah, pretty much that's about it. I mean, I always liked to do, to be in the arts and crafts and do a lot of creative things on my own, and a lot of times that would come to be bad for my homework and stuff like that. But what can you do, right?
Hmm.
You have to do what you like.
What kind of artwork do you produce?
Yeah, so this is pretty much digital now. I rarely use traditional media like pencil, and I certainly haven't uploaded any speed up drawings using pencil on my channel. Um, but of course, this is how I started out. Right now, I'm practicing, so I don't have a specific thing that I do at the time because I get a lot of commissions from people since I got a little bit well known, not well known, but known in some creepypasta circles. And because of that, for example, last week I did a science fiction creation, a sci-fi marine, and which I've never done before. So I'm still figuring things out, but I definitely really like characters and environments when it comes to these things.
What kind of medium, and equipment do you use for your artwork?
Yeah, I first of all use Photoshop, which is a very common choice among digital artists. I have a Wacom bamboo pen and tablet, which is my first, by the way. And that's what I use for drawing and painting. For video editing, I use Sony Vegas and Windows Movie Maker, believe it or not, for certain things. And I'm also using After Effects, though I'm not pretty good at it yet. I'm just dabbling, really. And if I'm forgetting anything, and for people who might want to actually check out the programs one by one, they can find a list of them on the About section on my channel. So that's out there as well. But yeah, these are all the programs I use, I believe.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Yeah, actually, I get my inspiration simply from life. What I mean about that is everything that I see and hear all help to produce the kind of work that I'm doing. For example, the movies I watch, the songs that I listen to, the books that I might read or again listen to, with audiobooks and stuff, to the things that I see on the street, everything, all of these play a crucial role into what inspires me to draw or paint something. And I believe this is a question that's kind of hard for a lot of artists to answer simply because I find it very hard to imagine someone taking their entire inspiration for everything from one thing or person. So generally, I think what we experience, even if you're not a social person and you're just sitting in your house all day like me and you're on the internet, you still get to experience a lot of different things. And all these come to play in the way you produce something. But the reality, the hardest thing here is not only where you draw your inspiration, but how you can make it so other people can, so you can translate that inspiration into a painting or drawing and other people can get what you try to say there. But yeah, this is where I draw my inspiration from. Life.
Are there any artists that influence your work?
Yes and no at the same time. What happens is that I refrain from becoming a fanboy, to put it mildly, of an artist, simply because I have as a goal to find my own style. And you can't really do that if you're really, uh, becoming a fanboy of one artist alone. You can, of course, look at their work, be amazed by it. For example, my some of the personal favorites for me is Feng Zhu, Darken. I hope I pronounced the names right. Another guy called Noah KH. This guy is on DeviantArt. I'm not sure if this is the nickname he goes by elsewhere. And for example, Keenan Lafferty, another guy that I follow. But even though I admire their work, for me they're more of a goal, so I can overcome it later on. And even though I study, I try not to get too sucked into the way they're doing things, because if I do that, then I will never find my own style. And since I'm practicing, this is the time to do it. Because if ever I manage to get professional, I doubt it, but if I ever manage to do that, I will of course have to learn different styles and adapt. But right now I'm really trying to find my own thing. So even though these artists that I mentioned really played a crucial role into me practicing, I want to become better. I can't say they have 100% influenced me or something like that, but they definitely played their role into uh, reaching this point.
How has art changed you?
Yeah, I believe that it has made me more observant of my environment. What I mean is, I always say that drawing is the art of observation, because if you really think about it, at least what I have come to experience is that when I would sit down to draw, let's say, my refrigerator, a very simple object, I would notice that I haven't paid attention to all these little details that, make my refrigerator to look like how it looks. And what this made me essentially do is when I started get really into drawing, when I would go out, I would notice a lot of things like the sky. I would pay attention to the sky, to the people walking around, to the shops that I was looking at, the impression that a scene would leave for me. And that's how pretty much it changed me, because I really made me a very person that really observes everywhere he goes. I'm observe everywhere I go, everything as much as I can. And you know, this has made a difference, and on top of that, of course, it has changed me because for one of the very few times in my life, I have a goal, a very specific goal, which I'm trying to reach to become a lot better at what I do. And even though it might sound generic, for me, it has really made me a more dedicated person and more organized person in general.
How
So yeah,
has
that's
art
pretty much.
changed your life?
Well, so far it has changed it quite a bit, mainly because I got to meet and work with a very awesome people. For example, I got to work with Musi. People definitely know him and the creepypasta circles. Mr. Creepypasta, the team on Creepypasta Network, Barnabas Deimos, Captain Spinifex. You know what? I'm gonna stop here because if I have to name everyone, we're gonna be here a while that I've met in Creepypasta. But in general, this is what the biggest change for me was. And this, all the people that I've met made me really believe that I can do this as a future job at some point, maybe. But definitely it was, because if I manage to do that, to turn this into an actual, job, it's gonna be a dream come true. I don't think there's anything better that can happen to you than to make something that you love into a job. So it has definitely brought a lot of excitement in my life, and definitely made me meet a lot of cool people, which has been just an awesome experience so far. And I'm hoping to become even more awesome as we go along.
Why did you get interested in drawing creepypasta art?
Yeah. So about a year ago, I believe it was, maybe a little bit more, I got into creepypasta. Like most people, I found some random videos of Creep Smack Pasta, Mr. Creepypasta, Creepypasta JR, we all know the guys. And as I was started listening to the stories, I got sucked into them. I started listening over and over and over and over and listening to new stories. Of course, I started joining circles like, for example, some Skype, groups that have creepypasta narrators. I joined Creepypasta Network, and then I started. I really want to start to do a fan art about something, and the very first fan art that I made was Jeff the Killer and Jane the Killer. Their fight they have a versus, which I found on Mr. Creepypasta channel. And I actually made an artwork where they are sort of dancing. I think it's a tango, and sort of like it's a metaphor of them fighting and at the same time being attracted to each other. The whole hatred and love
Mhm.
angle. And after that, some people take notice because they like the way I presented it. So then I was encouraged to do more and more and more. And eventually I ended up having a request. I believe the very first collaboration I did on Creepypasta was to create my very first speed paint, by the way, which was the face of Jeff the Killer, which was with the Lurking Shadows Brotherhood. I think that was the name of the channel that we had this collaboration, where they just got in a thumbnail. And from then on, I just started drawing more creepypasta characters, narrators. Like I wanted to make fan art for every narrator that I really liked to listen to. And then, of course, I had monsters that I got really, very, 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 very attached to in a sense because I like the stories. And that's how I ended up doing creepypasta. Then, of course, I had requests and commissions. So that's how I pretty much got into drawing creepypasta.
Which creepypasta character or persona do you enjoy drawing the most?
Okay. Well, for my favorite persona to draw, I definitely, by far, like to draw Mr. Creepypasta. And not because he's MCP or anything like that. It's just the character is, I don't know, it's so like superhero rise villain type look. I don't know. So it really comes natural. When I was like, I have done so far three fan arts for of MCP, and they all just came out completely natural. Didn't even really have to sit that many hours on top of the work. And for a character creepypasta, I definitely love to draw Laughing Jack. I've only done one artwork for that so far, but I'm definitely looking on doing more. It's just an absolutely favorite monster.
What art projects are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm focusing on my YouTube channel. I'm starting a few different series. For example, something that's really exciting for me because I got a few requests to do that. I'm starting tutorials. I'm currently recording them and hoping to upload them in the near future. I'm also looking on starting different other series, for example, a painting games series or painting creepypasta, maybe a for fun series, which I do a lot of different things. And also I'm practicing a little bit my animating skills, though I'm not yet ready to share that with the internet. It's not very good yet, but maybe in the future.
And we are on our last question. Um,
Pity.
what is a fun fact about yourself?
Okay, that I'm not a very fun guy. Okay, but what I would like to say is something that people don't know is that I used to run a different channel like more than a year ago, which was all about Minecraft pixel arts. This sounds a little bit weird, but the reason, I was one of the very few legitimate pixel artists. I would do huge projects with 300 or 400,000 blocks at a time. But the reason it didn't stuck around it was because there was this program that would allow you to just recreate fake pixel arts in Minecraft. And I'm not gonna get too much into it because it's not of interest in the actual interview. But what happened was because of that channel, I got to work with some really big YouTubers out there like Boogie2988, which is like over 1 million subscribers. TradeSat, also known as Panzer. I worked with Athene Wins, Frankie on PC in 1080p. And despite of all that, feature that I got because I worked with these guys, my channel never stuck around because people just were not ready to, they didn't really believe I was legit, even though I would upload time lapses. And if you really knew about the whole concept, you knew that what I was doing is legit. But definitely that's something that people don't know about me, that I used to run a different channel called Spoof Gaming. Right now is inactive, but I might revive it in the future. It was even partnered, but unfortunately, I have to give it up because people stop watching, simply put it. But yeah, that could be a fun fact about myself.
Well, is there anything you would like to say before we wrap this up?
Not really. I just want to thank you again for having me on your show, on your series anyway. And I really appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone who's going to watch this interview. And that's about it for me.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you. It was definitely a pleasure.
Thank you very
And
much as well.
anyone who is not already subscribed, make sure to check the description below for a link to his channel. And I guess that is it for right now. So, talk to you all later, and bye, everybody.
See ya.